Hello, friends, and welcome to Pod Return to the Waking Sands. We are a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast where we explore the lore and story of Hydaelyn and beyond. My name is Jen, and I'm joined by my co-host and researcher.
I'm Levi.
Hello, Levi.
Hello, Jen. Today we are kicking off our Palace of the Dead series with the Tam Tara Deepcroft Hard.
Yeah, speaking of hard...
It was not.
That's how this one goes. Story-wise, but yeah.
It goes hard story-wise, it goes easy mechanics-wise.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice step up. It was interesting. But...
Step up from...
Like difficulty.
You thought so? Like from original Tam Tara?
Yeah.
Like the second dungeon in the game?
Yeah.
Great. Anyway, we'll talk about that when we get there, but no, this was a very breezy run for everyone.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so Tam Tara Hard continues the story of our poor novice adventurers. This is the dysfunctional party that tried to brave Sestasha and Tam Tara Deepcroft, but got absolutely beat. In this party, we have Avere, the former gladiator and the current dead fiance, Edda, a conjurer and Avere's fiance, who is very much not over his death, Liavinne, an archer who joined the Scions following the disbandment of her adventuring party. She was killed in the Garlean attack on the Waking Sands. And finally, Payo Reo, thaumaturge and still alive. Doing fine.
Yeah, he's the only one that came out of this unscathed. Well, he'll have trauma now.
Mostly unscathed.
Yeah.
He had some trauma, but he's got more soon. Anyway, as another refresher, Tam Tara Deepcroft is part of the subterranean city of Gelmora, but it was vacated when its inhabitants moved into the Shroud. Afterwards, the Deepcroft had been used as a crypt for Gridanian dead, until recently when a group of doomsday cultists called the Lambs of Dalamud moved in. We kicked them out, and as far as we know, the Deepcroft has been quiet since.
Yeah.
However, the thaumaturge Payo Reo says otherwise.
Well, if we're wandering around Ul'dah and we see a somewhat familiar-looking Lalafell, and it's Payo Reo.
This is set up as being a very chance encounter. His back is turned to us, actually. He's dicking around in some crates by the Chocobo stables. And we bump into him, and he's like, oh shit, it's you, the Warrior of Light.
You know, maybe he's chilling there outside of the Adventurers Guild, probably looking for somebody to invite with him. Anyway, we show up, and he's like, well, this is serendipitous. He remembers us from our brief encounter outside of Sestasha a million years ago. And it was like, weird that at one point we were kind of hanging out in the same circles.
Yeah. He assumes that we don't remember him. He's like, hey, it's me, Payo Reo.
Yeah. Well, like we do. Y'all were really toxic and memorable. And he asks us if we remember the conjurer from his group, Edda, and after, Sestasha, whatever, they disbanded. Or they disbanded officially after Avere died. He didn't think that he would see any of that group again until he got an invitation from Edda for a wedding.
So at this point, the music gets really spooky, like one line too soon.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, great, invitation, good for her, moving on from carrying Avere's head around. She got better emotionally and mentally, hopefully.
Yeah, like that's great. And he was like, I was super happy for her until I saw that the groom to be is still Avere.
This is when the music should go dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Versus last line.
Yeah.
But the venue for the wedding is Tam Tara Deepcroft. And the letter also says that Liavinne is attending. The last bit to Payo seems normal. He's like, okay, so Liavinne, as far as I know, joined the Scions. Why don't you, the greatest Scion, that's what he tells us. He says that we're the greatest of the Scions.
Yikes.
Citation needed, but whatever. Could we help him get in touch with her? And we have implicitly the most tactless response to this. We never see our dialogue, of course, but his order of reaction implies that we're fucking with his head pretty much. He goes, what? She's in the Lut Shard? What? She's dead? from the Imperials, which implies that we're like, you can find her.
You can find her at the Lich Yard.
Like,
or yeah.
Get some tact, Warrior of Light.
It does. It did read that way.
Yeah.
Like that was I can find her at the Lich Yard. What does that mean? Oh, shit. No, it's like, well, okay, after she joined the Scions, you must have heard about the raid perpetrated by the Empire on the Waking Sands. And unfortunately, she perished during the attack.
See, that's how we should have said it, Jen.
Yeah.
No.
And then it would have been like,
Fuck with
oh,
this
no. Well, do you know where, she was laid to rest?
Yes.
She's at the, yeah.
That's how a normal person would.
Correct. I always thought that my
news.
character was a normal person, but.
Incorrect.
We made it weird.
You made it weird. Anyway, we do drop those details in an order, and Pio asks us to show him to her grave. She apparently RSVP'd to the wedding, even though she's dead.
Yeah, no, this is it's all wrong.
So we head out to the Lich Yard in Eastern Thanaland, and we find her grave. It is disturbed. Someone has stolen Liavinne's corpse.
What the fuck? This is really messed up.
This line is pretty funny, though, frankly. Pio thinks about who could have done this, and he's like, it must have been Edda. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Yikes. Yeah,
he's like, as horrifying as the thought might be, it's gotta be Edda. Like, she's super fucked up in the head. So and then he's thinking about, kind of the circumstances of that whole, like, the disastrous last raid of theirs and how they all abandoned Edda and blamed her for Avere's death, when in reality, all of them bore responsibility for that. And they just left her with that, like, shouldering the full brunt of that responsibility, of that blame, and with Avere's head to keep her company. So, yeah, no wonder she was driven to madness.
He wants to go to this so-called wedding to, quote, make things right. He's expecting at this point, I think, a creep show, but nothing supernatural, just a pretty sad dead person wedding.
Yeah. Probably just her trying to not literally marry ahead, but maybe just, like, we were supposed to get married, and I'm going to marry him even after death, and I want to be where his spirit might reside, that kind of a thing. Yeah. It's morbid, but it's not potentially a nightmare yet.
That's what he thinks.
Yeah.
So he asks us to come because we are the chief scion or whatever. She may listen to us.
Well, even back then, we were already kind of making a name for ourselves. And because remember, she, like, found us in the Adventurers Guild, and she's like, I just wanted to, say how much I look up to you.
Yes.
And Avere also looked up to you, and I hope I can make things right and, study hard and do all this stuff. So she did study hard, but in service of, an absolute nightmare.
There's a callback coming to that very soon. So stay tuned for that revelation of how that went in her mind. So, we accept Pio's invitation to be his +1, and we head for the Deepcroft. Thank you to the pair that joined us on this minimum item level run.
Yeah. So the two people that joined us on this run were, and so sorry, Jinx, we're not sure how to pronounce your surname. Jinx Sincere or Sincere. Sorry, you'll let us know. And Andy Mann. It's a good group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jinx was on Warrior and Andy on Machinist. I ran Scholar, and Jen is rocking Ninja.
Big fan.
Yeah. So like we were alluding to, I think this is one of the easiest min item level runs that we've done so far.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
I'm gauging that by the fact that I was able to actually do DPS as healer and not just have to spam heals constantly and mine my mana pool, my MP pool.
Yeah, it was really breezy. I mean, we got close to, well, like, there were some things that got our health down quite a bit.
Yes.
But
it wasn't simple. It was just easy.
Yeah.
Compared to, for instance, I think it was Pharaoh Sirius, where one trash pull was a nightmare.
Yeah,
that was a MP tap out situation just from one group of enemies. But no, this was much smoother than that.
Yeah, it wasn't mindless, but it was breezy.
Yep. So we head into the Deepcroft again. We can tell immediately that something is awry. Eerie red light blankets the air. This place, again, is your classic crumbling crypt, a multi-layered burial place built of cut stone that encircles a central shaft that runs from the black shroud above to a dark abyss below. Growth from the shroud has penetrated this place, filling it full of plant life. Last time we were here, a fell orb hung over this place at the top of that central pit, and it's back. Or something like it. Before it was a black-purple orb, now this is a sickly yellow ball of light that hangs at the center, fed by 4 yellow-white beams of light from below.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously the Lambs of Dalamud were able to use the structure of this place, like, it just kind of worked for what they were doing, and Edda just kind of was like, perfect, great, I'll do the same thing with whatever the fuck the new orb is.
Yeah. It's a callback, I'm assuming, though it doesn't really factor that well into... There's no, like, ritual going on, especially. It's kind of strange because we repeat the same pace of last time where we have to destroy the orbs to clear these magic barriers that block our passage, but Edda's ritual is not tied to this orb as far as I can tell. We don't ruin things by disrupting it. It's just like a series of gates that are represented by this big yellow orb.
Yeah, so like the mechanics of what we're doing it's not clear. In Tam Tara, the first time we do Tam Tara, it's okay, we're clearly shutting off like a source of power to this thing. And now we're not like shutting anything off, they just kind of stop.
Yeah.
So either we're like at the tail end of a ritual in progress, or us destroying these mobs is also like disrupting the ritual or whatever.
I really think it's just us having to get down, because the goal here is to get to Edda and we have to intervene with her directly. There's no real, I guess, effect of the orbs besides that they are powering these gates that block us, even though the beams are to the central orb, not to the gates. I'd call it a callback to Tam Tara regular without much real, I guess, story tied to this orb event, really.
More like, we just have to fight our way to Edda, basically. Yeah. That's with some fancy lighting.
Sure. Anyway, yeah, so the enemies in here are also much the same as regular Tam Tara, just bigger. Instead of little bugs, we get big bugs, big mites. There are more void sent here. We'll run across demon knights and...
eyeball guys.
Is it the Hecdice?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the Hecdice and so on. So pretty much just a ramp up of the last enemy mix.
Bogies or whatever, yeah.
Yep. But before we start our descent, there is a torn note just inside the entrance. From Edda. She has apparently torn up her scrapbook and dropped the pieces all the way down, as we'll find bits of her journal on the way as we descend.
Great.
Yeah. The first one reads, I finally muster the courage to speak with your hero, my love. The warrior of light is as kind and wise as he is brave and strong. They listened attentively as I told them all about you, about us. Though they are a few words, or perhaps because they are, everything that they said seemed to inspire me. Their gaze alone instilled me with a confidence that I never knew I had. Truly, I feel better prepared to face the future for having met them. This is her takeaway from our meeting where we gave her some encouragement, saying, get back out there.
Yeah, which is great.
This
all seems on the up and up so far.
I think the surroundings disagree with that, but...
Well, if she wrote this in her journal right after our meeting, then all's good.
Yep,
that's
all's
fine.
Good.
Yeah.
So we press down, and just like before, we defeat Void Sent on these lower platforms that project out into the central pit, and the orbs wink out. These are kind of like mini boss fights. Sometimes during them, other ads will appear. On the second platform, we kill a gargoyle and a couple of demon knights, and then void scent wasps appear as a second wave afterwards. Not too difficult, though.
Nope.
We also find a couple more notes as we circle the inner chasm here, inner pit. The first note reads, "Scarcely a week has passed since we returned to the village, and already I cannot help thinking it was a mistake. There was a time when this place seemed just large enough, but having seen the wider world, it all feels so insufferably confined that I often find myself struggling to breathe. I know that it is the same for you, my love. The only time I truly feel alive is when I am adventuring with you. We are as caged birds in this backwater. So long as we remain here, we will never spread our wings and soar. So let us take to the road and create a lifetime of wonderful memories together."
Okay. Fine.
She could be using Avere as a journaling device. That's okay.
Sure. People process grief in myriad ways.
But now it's going to get weird. Note number 2 on this descent. "I could not have hoped for a more romantic first visit to Mordona. The crystals that pierced the landscape glowed in all their majesty, as if to celebrate our future together. And as we lazed by Silvertear Lake, watching the waves lapping the shore, the sun took its leave behind the horizon, that we might enjoy a moment of intimacy."
Oh, no.
Gross.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It goes on. "I want us to be together forever. You first said these words to me years ago, and you said them to me again tonight.
Nope.
I am so happy to be with you."
Okay.
At this point, we leave the outer pit and we head into the innards of the crypt, piercing into the stone maze of the actual Deepcroft itself. And we meet up with Liavinne. Sup, girl?
Well, great. So she's been reanimated.
Yeah. She is not well. Her skin is a mottled blue, and she attacks us.
Yep.
So there is only one mechanic to this fight. It's highly unintuitive, but if you got it, you get the fight.
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but she's going to summon a bunch of groom-to-bees?
They're called best man.
Best men.
So there are 1 million best men in this wedding, apparently.
Jesus Christ. These are all zombies. And they're going to, a bunch of them are going to pop up and they're going to descend on a player. And another player is going to get a huge marker above their head, a big purple thing. And the instinct is obviously to run away from the group, right?
Yeah, bring your AoE away, but no, not this time.
Yeah, you need to use this you need to just take it and move towards the group of best men and have it hit all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you try to kill them yourself, you'll get a stacking vuln up debuff on y'all. So it hurts you to kill them directly. Also, when they attack their target player, they hurt a lot. They will really jam on that person. They'll become immobilized. You have to be on the spot for healing. But if you bait that attack, it's like a rain of arrows onto the best men. Liavinne kills them. Done.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that stacking vuln debuff, if there are any best men alive after she launches 2 volleys of arrows, Liavinne will do a raid wide, which hurts a ton if there are surviving best men.
Yeah, I think she does it for each survivor.
Yeah.
So we wiped to this. Yeah, we just got. There were 4 of these jerks still alive, and we're like, what's happening? And boom, 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 dead.
But that's it. If you just bring that AoE on them, kill them through Liavinne, it's fine. Her raid wide is super weak without the best men powering it up. She has no other mechanics besides that one, so good to go once it's done.
Yeah.
As she dies a second time, Liavinne murmurs, "I told them that she was weird, but they wouldn't listen."
Wow.
Classy.
Ugh.
Yeah. No, the theme here is that no one in this group treated Edda well.
Yeah.
And we saw that happening. Everyone, that last meeting, they were all
they just
bagging
piled
on her.
On. Yeah.
And then Pyro Ryo was drinking in the corner or something.
Yeah, he's like, this, all y'all suck. This sucks. Trying to disengage.
Yeah. So we press on past Liavinne, and we see a magic barrier blocking our passage to the left and a purple glowing, quote, defiled coffin dead ahead.
Oh, right. The defiled coffins. So someone is going to have to interact with this defiled coffin. And when they do, they're going to get frozen real quick.
They're going to get spooked.
Yeah. And then one of those cool, like, multi-faced
Yeah, it's
ghost dudes.
like a black robe that has masks all over it.
Yeah.
It looks super cool. I like this design a lot.
Very spooky. So he shows up.
Yeah. These are called Dantalians.
Correct. So the one person is going to be like frozen in terror and everybody else is going to fight it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kill this little guy and repeat the mechanic a couple more times where we have to go down and open a coffin. The person opening it gets spooked and frozen in place. We kill the void send, and that will drop the barrier ahead of us. On the last coffin, there will be a big Dantalian and also a horde of little guys that also appear, like mini ghosts that are called Phantom Knights.
Yeah, so I think there were 3 default coffins.
Yep.
Each one of these fights kind of ramps up a bit, but still, like, totally doable.
We find some more notes here, Jen. The first one reads, "You have been looking deathly pale of late. The scorching heat of Thanaland does not agree with you. You were never fond of hot climes, and it was a mistake to come here. Let us make for Kurthis, where the bracing air will put roses on your cheeks."
Nope.
The next one. "I know. It is not easy being without a body. I promise to find one for you, but you must have patience. You are my husband-to-be, and there's nothing I would not do for you. Give me time, my love, and I shall make you whole again, as you make me."
Goddamn.
And the final one here. "I am sorry to keep you waiting, my love, but we cannot afford to compromise, not where your new body is concerned. Ordinary adventurers die often enough, leaving their ordinary corpses. But if you are to be like the warrior of light, we cannot settle for anything less than extraordinary. But a strong body requires an equally strong soul, as I recently discovered. Now, you are probably worried that strong souls are rare, and so they are. But never fear, for we can create one ourselves. All we need is a plentiful supply of the weaker kind. Be patient just a little longer, my love."
Jesus Christ. Yep.
After having cleared the coffins out, we press on to a raised circular platform over a pool of water. The map calls this place the tomb of King Galvanth the Dominator. This is the guy that the other Voidsent have possessed in Tam Tara Normal.
Oh. Yeah.
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 That guy.
That's right.
But we find Payo Reo here.
At first I thought that he had been, like, killed and possessed or something. Like, we're gonna have to fight this poor guy. Like, no. He's just, he got, he's cowering and we have
He
to
says
fight
that he can't move. He has been ensorcelled.
Okay, so he's like bait, yeah.
Yeah. As we approach, void portals open up all around the platform. A, quote, spare body appears. This is the boss. It uses the Dolahan enemy model.
Mm-hmm. I'm still not clear on, like, the mechanics of this one, because these orbs would show up out of the portals, right?
Yes.
And they would start, like, floating around.
They float towards Payo.
Okay, so you have to intercept them.
Yes.
And then they leave like an AoE where they explode.
No, that was from the boss.
Okay.
So what you got to do is the tank needs to bring the boss way away from Payo, because the boss will drop cleaves and also will drop a big circle ground AoE that inflicts bleed on people inside of it. So if you fight him near Payo, he's probably going to die and you will lose.
Yeah.
Beyond that, the boss is very simple. The other mechanic here is that those orbs will come out of the portals and drift towards Payo. You must intercept them yourselves so they do not contact him. Later on, big fat orbs come out. They do tons of damage. Big explosion. Same thing though. Gotta block them.
Mm-hmm.
Payo can be healed if needed.
Oh, good.
That's all. We do those things and we defeat the spare body and we are good to go.
Yeah, Payo is like, I am out of here.
Yeah, and he books it.
Yeah.
An ether flow portal opens up on the floor. Stepping into it, we are transported forward. We arrive now deeper in the Deepcroft. This is back on the map from the original dungeon. We're in that room where there's that big tree growing up out of the water below into the sky above.
Yeah.
We fight through some more trash enemies here, but there are also some evocative names in the group. The Hekdai enemies are called Discarded Eyes. The little slimes are called spare lungs.
Oh, God.
And there are zombies here called fly-blown failures.
Yeah, so Edda's been busy.
Yes, she has been.
Yeah.
And we have a final note from her. With the nigh endless supply of bodies here, I will make you well again. Then we shall be wed as man and wife, forever joined it as the gods intended. Of course, it is only fitting a proper ceremony be held, with guests in attendance. I will send out invitations to all our friends. They will be so happy for us. I have no doubt they will jump at the chance to part with their souls.
Yeah, totes. Yeah, whatever, It's standard wedding guest tradition.
Sure.
Here's my soul.
And we reach the central pit, and guarding the final 2 orbs, there is a small group of void scent, led by a mind flare. I mean, a Paisodemon. Once the orbs are dispelled, that stone bridge projects out from this platform to the central circular platform in the middle of the pit. Below it, there is a seemingly bottomless chasm. But we cross that bridge and reach Edda.
Yeah, she's got the full, white mage garb on now.
Yeah.
So she's
not
advanced her career?
Oh, shoot. I forgot to mention, when we reached the dungeon entrance, we talked to the guard out there.
Yeah.
And he tells us that Pio Ryo has gone on ahead of us, and he was with a woman dressed in white. He implies that she was wearing wedding garb.
Yeah, but no. She was wearing white mage stuff.
But she said that he was stiff as a board, that Pio was stiff as a board.
Yeah, like he had seen a ghost. Like he was like... I
got the implication that he was more possessed or something, or like being controlled.
I took it more like, he's here to try to support his friend, and he is well aware of how fucked up this is, and he's just like, here I am.
It could be. But the guard tells us that Edda was all giggles, like a bride on her wedding day.
Gross.
Anyway, that's at the entrance, but now we're at actually Edda. So she's standing on this platform, and all around the perimeter, there are red candles that are blazing. As we approach, she calls down Avere Bravearm, who descends from above. Avere now is a winged head with long spindly arms and an eel-like tail. She tells him to look. All these people have come to make you a gift of their souls. Isn't that kind of them? Even the Warrior of Light is here. Now your dream of becoming like them can come true.
Great. Yeah, she's done. Her
She's
mind
done.
is done. Total toast.
This fight is also full of wedding quips. She'll go, "Where are our witnesses?" And then portals open, spitting out void scent that drop lion AoEs across the arena. And then she says, "To have and hold for better or for worse." And at that point, zombies start to crawl from the perimeter towards her.
Yeah. And
so,
are those the groom-to-bees?
Maybe. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, they were like groom-to-bees, and we had to stop them in their tracks, right?
Yes, that's them. Yep. So the opponent in this fight is Avere. Edda can't be targeted. She's inside a dark area of effect on the ground in the center of the platform. If you step in there, you get bleed. Don't do it. Just fight Avere. Avere himself is pretty basic. He's not that big a deal. It's Edda, though, that is the real foe here.
Yeah. There was a lot going on in this fight, and I'm still so used to being like a ranged fighter, like always. So there's a lot of like dodging that has to happen. So my brain was focused on that.
Sure. So the main mechanic here is that dodge AoEs, obviously, as you do. But the main thing that will get you is that zombie mechanic where the portals open up and they will crawl towards Edda.
Yeah.
You must kill these things before they reach Edda. If they reach her, a rune on the ground will power up. There are 5 runes in all. Every powered rune will increase the potency of her upcoming raid wide.
Ah, yes.
Which is called Red Wedding. So at one point we had 2 zombies get her on min eye level. So 2 runes got powered up and the resulting raid wide nearly wiped us out in one hit.
I was down probably like to 15% of my health.
And for me and for the range DPS, we had a fraction. And I saw this coming. I saw the 2 runes going off and I was like, oh shit. So I popped my group shield and also that fairy like defense buff too, because I saw some heavy damage coming, and like we barely scraped by from that giant hit.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need 5 runes to wipe. 2 runes would do it.
Which seems kind of funny. Like, yeah, like 1 more rune would have been dead.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Why 5?
Because there are more settings besides min eye level, Jin.
That's fine.
That's why. Anyway, if you burn the ads and dodge the things, you're good to go. And we kill Avere's head.
Sad, but it had to be done.
Wow.
Jin
I mean, harsh.
I can still feel, I sympathy for, this is very sad. But yeah, like he's done. Let it go. He's dead now. Like for reals. Hella dead.
After Avere is slain, Edda begins to back away in horror,
yes.
crying, "What have you done?" She keeps on backing up, not aware of her surroundings, towards the edge of the platform. The bottom of her robes catches fire from the candles there, but she doesn't notice. She keeps on backing away until she steps off the ledge, falling backwards into the abyss. As she plummets away, though, her face changes to one of serenity.
Yes.
And that's that.
Acceptance.
Perhaps, or relief from her pain.
All of the above, like just, yeah, end it.
Either way, we get a very tasteless duty complete chorus right afterwards.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the look on our faces were just like, this sucked.
Yeah.
This was awful. But then we get like, yay, you did it. I wish they had like a somber version, because there are so many instances in this game where the end of a fight is not like joyful.
No. Yep.
Anyway.
Back outside the Deepcroft, we find Rayo waiting.
Yeah, we totally, it's like 50-50 the way we pronounce that name, so like whatever.
Great. He's sorry for how this ended, but he's relieved that it's over. And he says it'll be his last act as adventurer. He's done enough harm as it is. So he's going to go home and live out his days as... He freezes for a moment. Before him, at the far edge of the Deepcroft entrance, is Edda, just standing there.
Ah!
We get a very creepy scene. The camera flickers, zooming in and out from her. With each cut, she changes expression, and at one point her hat disappears, showing her full face, revealing an overly intense gaze. An ominous chord sounds, punctuated by static. The last glimpse is of her looming above the camera, features almost completely blown out by the lighting. Pyo's face changes to pure terror, and he bolts from the Deepcroft.
Goddamn.
Yelling that he's sorry.
Jesus Christ.
And that's it for now.
I kind of wish they had not done that. That like her falling off the edge was just like we can assume that she's dead now. She's done.
But she's not.
But she's not. But yeah, that's fine. We don't need like she's going to come back.
I liked it,
stuff.
Jen. This was a very creepy scene.
Yes. I feel bad for Pyo. Like he was so close to just like not having that living in his head. But hopefully he finds peace.
Any other thoughts, Jen, about the run?
I think it's beyond disturbing and dark, but I think it's great that it exists in the game.
This is one of the ones that gets a lot more story treatment than most of the hard dungeons, which is like, well, they're back now. Go kill them.
Yeah, like it's harder for reasons.
Yeah.
This is a legit jumping off of where we left the Deepcroft.
No, I'm super excited for the next step here.
Yeah, it's great. I love that this nightmare is going to be part of our story now.
Jin loves a nightmare.
Yeah.
Any final comments?
Nope. But yeah, just it's fucked up and I love it.
Well, thank you again to our team this time. Appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times.
Next time, we'll be entering the Palace of the Dead itself. Let's talk briefly about the structure of these 2 upcoming episodes. Next one, number 99, will feature the overall mechanics of Palace of the Dead and the story of the dungeon. The following episode, number 100, will be us taking on our floor 200 run, and we will be taking a deep dive into the strats to get that clear.
That'll be a first for me. It's gonna be intense.
I'm so excited, Jen.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And that will do it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for listening and being neat. Yeah, super neat. If you want to get in touch with us, you can at podreturnffxiv@gmail.com, or check the show notes for information on our Discord and join up and chat about the game, your glams, join us on group runs, etc. Really amazing group of people. And we also have our Patreon, patreon.com/podreturnffxiv. For $1 a month, you have access to some bonus episodes that we record about seasonal events and also our Final Fantasy XI series, Vanadil Vansplainer. So check it out. And with that, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Have a good day or night, and we will see you next time.